Hey friends, James Corbett here, CorbettReport.com. Long story short, I have published a book. It is called Reportage, Essays on the New World Order. And as that title, I hope, accurately reflects, this is a collection of 20 essays on matters geopolitical, philosophical, historical, and many other things besides. I hope you will at least check into this book. And if you want to do so, you can start by going to reportagebook.com. Spelt exactly like it sounds, Reportage, R-E-P-O-R-T-A-G-E, book.com. That link will be in the show notes if you need it. And from there, you will be able to purchase the book from any of the usual booksellers. In fact, anywhere that you go to purchase books, you should be able to purchase this book. And if they don't offer it, well, the book is a real, actual, real deal published work out there in the public space, so it does have an ISBN number, and that is all you need in order to get your local bookstore or your library or wherever you get your books to order a copy or 10 so they can stock on their shelves for other interested parties, and I would very much appreciate that support. But having said that, if you want, there is a sales sheet, a downloadable sales sheet that you could print off in A4 size if you happen to be in most of the world, or letter size if you happen to be in the US. You can print off and you can actually hand over to the bookshop worker or the librarian, and they will be able to use that information to order copies of the book. All right, that is the key important information. I have written a book. This is a work that has been literally 15 years in the making. I am not making that up. I do have receipts to document that and to show to talk a little bit about the progress of this book over the years, but I wanted to put the important information up front. If you're pressed for time, if you're busy, if you don't have time to listen to 30 minutes about a book, that's it. Reportagebook.com. Please do support this work. Please do purchase a copy. Not only has this been a 15-year investment of my time and effort, but also I like to think of this as an emissary of the Corbett Report information to the wider world. People who in a million years would never look at a strange conspiracy website on the internet might just read a published real deal book. And that is exactly what this is at reportagebook.com. Now, for everyone who is pressed for time, toodly pipski, it was good seeing you. See you in the next video. For everyone else, let's take a deep breath and get ready for today's episode. Speaking of which, Brock, roll the intro.
You're listening to the Corbett Report.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to another edition of the Corbett Report. I'm your host, as always, James Corbett of CorbettReport.com in the frigid, wintry climes of Western Japan here in February of 2025 with episode 472 of the Corbett Report announcing Reportage, Essays on the New World Order. All right, now that we've got the TikTok viewers out of the way, have you been following the Corbett Report for a long time? I often get emails from people. I've been following you since the beginning, James. Really? Were you there, say, in 2009? Do you remember this?
Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
It's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
Build the new world order of the 21st century.
There's a need for a new world order.
Temps de construire un nouvel ordre mondial.
Di nuovo ordine mondiale.
It's about the future of Europe and a new world order.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Yes, chances are you did not see that, or even if you did see that, you probably don't remember it, because it was 16 years ago. That's right, back in 2009, I released a trailer for a book that didn't exist yet. Why did I do that? I guess as a way of prompting myself, because I knew I was going to get this book done very quickly and get it out there, so here I go, I'll just announce it and it'll be ready in a few months. Flash forward to 2025, and here it is! Yay! Well, anyway, better late than never. I will say, of course, I have been working on these essays over the, I want to say, 15-year span, because this book was finally finished and ready and written in 2024. It then took the better part of a year to get it published and made into reality. But anyway, it took 15 years of writing and rewriting and editing and reworking and reworking and scrapping essays and starting other essays, but I don't regret any of that time, because it has reached the final form that I think is the right form for this book. Having said that, I think if and when I do this in the future, I will be able to do it in something less than 15 years, but maybe that is contingent on whether I will do it at all, and that is somewhat contingent on the reception that this book receives. If there is a public for this type of book, if people still read, if people still want books, and if people support these books, I will do more in the future. If not, maybe not. At any rate, I have spent 15 years on the writing and tinkering with this book, and then a year of publishing. But having said that, it's not, of course, that I sat down every single day writing and writing and writing for 15 years. No, of course not. It was a process of starting essays, putting them away, coming back to them years later, revising them, rewriting them, rewriting them, shaping them, molding them. Sometimes, yes, completely scrapping some essays and starting completely new essays. There are at least a couple of essays that I can think of off the top of my head, maybe a few, that had their genesis in 2009. I remember writing the first initial rough draft, or at least starting a couple of these essays. I remember that from that time, and they have survived, obviously, in a very different form today, but still are in this collection of essays. But it has been a long and arduous process. And in the meantime, I'm doing regular podcasts and videos and interviews and articles and creating documentaries and doing interviews on a daily basis and all of this other stuff that I've been doing in the intervening time. So anyway, that explains something about the production, but maybe not enough. And in order to fill in the blanks of this, of course, like anything else, this is a project that could not have come together without the talents and skills of various people, including someone that I first met back in 2016 electronically, namely Susan from the sunny climes of the southern states, who became a subscriber at that time in early 2016 and introduced herself as a professional editor, and then proceeded to prove that she was a professional editor by sending me updates on pretty much every post that I was making, whether an editorial or just a video or an interview post. She would send little fixes. Oh, you missed this, put this comma here, no, that sentence doesn't work there, etc., until such point as we both realized, wouldn't it make more sense if she was doing this on a more professional basis? So from that time in 2016 to the present, Susan has been looking over pretty much everything that I post to the website, and basically the fact that there are so few errors in what I write, typographically and otherwise, that is due to her eagle eye, but she is not simply a proofreader. She has been helping to shape and mold these sentences so that they sparkle and shine. Those are her words, by the way, not mine. But at any rate, she has definitely been helping me to shape and better formulate these thoughts, and as a result, she has been working on editing this book, and without her editorial skills, this book would not be half as good as I think it is. So Susan definitely deserves some accolades for that careful editing. And then I guess the Avengers team that assembled finally came together in, I guess 2019, when I received an email from a listener/subscriber, Tim Lacey, who reached out. He's from the United States, but he was in Japan at the time, and he is a book designer by trade, so he offered his services. If you are ever planning on doing a book, let me know. And I took that email and promptly forgot about it for 4 years? It wasn't until late 2023 when, coincidentally, I was starting to put the finishing touches on some of these essays and getting things ready, and it'll be ready in a few months. And at that exact time, for whatever synchronistic reason, I was digging out my inbox for the first time in years and came across this email that I hadn't looked at in 4 years from this guy offering his book design services. And I thought, hey, now I actually need them. So I reached out to Tim and we got in touch. And of course, he was happy to take on the project of designing the book. But then we started to talk more deeply about this. And he has a lot of experience in the book trade generally. And he decided to help with the actual publishing of the book. And without Tim's work over the course of the past year in shaping this book physically, but also getting it ready for physical printing and delivery and distribution and ISBNs and LCCNs and all the other things that most normal human beings thankfully never even have to think about when it comes to books. This has become a real, actual book that, as I say, is now available wherever you buy books. You can get this book. And all you really need is the ISBN number, which is on the REPORTAGEBOOK.com page. Please go to REPORTAGEBOOK.com and you can find out more about the book itself, where and how you can buy it, and it has that information, like the ISBN. It even has the dimensions and the weight and everything, just in case you're a real book nerd and need to know those sorts of things. But anyway, now the book I am displaying here is the hardcover edition, which is a special limited collector's edition, which I am signing and distributing to subscribers. And only Corbett Report subscribers, and in fact, only those Corbett Report subscribers who saw my announcement of this and claimed their copy in time, because, as I say, this is not a joke. It's an actual limited edition small run that I did of prints, physical prints, that are now all claimed. So, unfortunately, well, none for you, haha. Well, not quite. There may be an opportunity for more of these in the future, which I'll talk about in a moment. But anyway, this is the special hardcover edition. Of course, what you purchase when you go to purchase the book from ReportageBook.com will be either the paperback version or the ebook version, and eventually the audiobook version. That isn't ready yet, but I will be narrating an audiobook version of this as well. So all of those will be available. And as with all of my work, I do not keep it behind a paywall. This book will go up. I will, of course, post it to archive.org completely 100% for free, so you never have to pay me a penny. You can enjoy my 15 years of labor completely for free. I'm not posting it there quite yet, but it will be posted there, and I will have the link for that available when it's ready. Anyway, so I would appreciate, though, if you do support this work at reportagebook.com. That's the place to go in case you haven't heard it yet. Now, having said that, as I say, there was a subscriber announcement earlier this month, specifically for Corbett Report members, where I talked to Tim Lacey about the book, about the production. We talked about the publication of the book, what went into the book, what is in the book, etc. And so let me just play a little clip from that conversation to give you a little bit more context about the book itself. Should we give people a sense of what is actually in here with these essays?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask me questions or prompts and I will respond as the author here.
Okay. I've got the table of contents marked here. Who wrote the foreword to this book?
A certain person by the name of Whitney Webb, who I assume my subscribers will know, but I should not make an ass of you and me if you don't know Whitney Webb. UnlimitedHangout.com. Check my archives. I've talked to her many times, and she was kind enough to supply a foreword here with some very kind words about me that make me blush, so I won't read them myself, but I very much appreciate her endorsement of this book.
Does the book have any illustrations in it, James?
It has precisely one that I'm not going to reveal here because I think it's more impactful if people see it for themselves. And
the word is poignant.
Poignant. I like impactful. I
like to say poignant because I like to say the G, poignant.
I like to say receipt because people always comment on the way I pronounce excerpt. So excerpt, receipt. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah. And you probably spit on them a little bit when you do that, too.
A little bit, just to rub it in. But yes, no, there is one illustration that is extremely poignant. And I must credit you with that, because that particularly was your idea, and it is the perfect idea for that particular essay. So thank you for that.
And we went hunting. We went
Wow.
hunting for that too.
It was not selected at random. It was a concerted, thought about thing. Yes.
All right, James. Does the book have an index at all?
It does. It has an index, and the question of whether it should have an index is one that I wrestled with specifically because an index, as a researcher, I will always avail myself of an index when I am looking for a specific piece of information. It's extremely handy when I'm looking at one of my 9/11 books, Triple Cross or something, and I need to know something specific about, when did Ali Mohammed meet Osama bin Laden or whatever. I can turn to the page in the index and, so page 372 or whatever, that specific thing. For this one, I wondered, because these are split into essays that are, I think they inform each other. Each essay informs a sort of broader whole that's being created here, but you can read each essay individually, and they are meant to be separable so that you can read them individually. So I thought, well, if there's an essay on, for example, the history of eugenics, does it help to have an index that says eugenics and then lists the entire essay, essentially? So I did go back and forth, but I thought ultimately I am a researcher. I use indices.
Sure.
So I wanted to have one in the book. And I think it does break things in. I actually have found myself looking at the index going, oh, yeah, okay, that one. Yeah,
right.
So it is handy in some way, yes.
Now, there's an electronic version, if I'm not mistaken. I'm being the interviewer now. So tell us a story about your career. No, the electronic version probably doesn't have an index, right? But does it have like links and URLs and stuff like that? Known as the CorbettReport.com is known for its open source intelligence news, always show notes and links and do your own, don't take my word for it sort of thing. Is that reflected in this book?
Yes, it is. Thank you for bringing that up. I would say, for me...
How many links are there?
Actually, that's a good question. You will be able to tell me the exact number. I don't
1,788.
Wow. There you go. Yes, there are a few links for people to discover in here because, yes, I like to document things, as you might know. So that was always an integrally important part of this from the inception. Like the Corbett Report itself, I always wanted to link to whatever I'm talking about. Well, with this, again, as a researcher myself, I know when a real researcher has written a book, and you can look at the notes and you can find the references and you can look them up yourself, etc. That's important for me, so it was important for me to do that. It was important for me to do that. Every single essay has its own endnotes section where every...
Endnote, there it is.
So every reference is there, and specifically, again, this is going into the weeds, but why not? We're here with the subscribers. I didn't want to... I hate it in books these days when they put out the entire URL, http://www. some long URL that you'll never be able to reproduce typing. No one would ever do that. So I have used archive.is whenever possible in these endnotes so that it is as simple as possible. If you have the physical book, you should only have to type in a few letters in order to get the URL.
Right. 10 or 15 instead of 117.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's fascinating too because there's some essays in here. One of them has over 100 notes in it, end notes in it, and and then there's, I think, one chapter that has one or two chapters has no notes, or one has no notes and one has maybe a small number of notes. Should we talk about the chapter titles?
Yeah.
Should we look at the name, not chapters, but the essay titles?
Sure.
The essay titles. The first one is called Reportage, Adventures in the New Media, which perfectly sets up the... in a way, I guess it's your red pill story, but how you got into it's excerpted also on the dust jacket of the special edition because it's James talking about. Thank you. Such a good connection. Well, I mean, we don't want to detail every single thing, but it's just and I want to maybe also, you mentioned this, but you can dip into this thing, read one essay. It's like a good book of essays. You can read one, read another. There's no particular sequence. If you're a completist, fine. Start at the beginning, go to the end. But I think it's eminently readable, and I think anybody who's been involved with the Corbett Report for these years, and as well as I think people new to the scene, or at least new to the Corbett Report, they're going to recognize a lot of pertinent recent history and a way of grasping history that offers much more than simple opinion or simple polemic. It's really a way of looking at things. And I think that's what the Corbett Report has done for its viewers and listeners. It's to change the way, that you look at things, so that you sort of can stand on your own 2 feet, make your own observations, check it against.
As you say, we are here with the core of the hardcore of the Corbett Reporteers out there. So you guys know who I am, how I operate, and the way that I do things. So I don't think this will blow people away. Oh my God, I can't believe he wrote this. But I think it will be the instantiation, the physical instantiation of a lot of these subjects, going into it in the kind of depth that you simply cannot do in an audio or video podcast. There are certain things that the written word will be able to express in ways that I could never do just doing a half-hour podcast trying to please the TikTok crowd. This is for people who actually read, so I've attempted to make it more literary.
Will this be available in audiobook form?
It will eventually. It certainly will. Yes.
And that's part of it.
But yes, I will absolutely read it myself. Yes.
Yeah. It might not take as long as you think.
I hope
but
not.
I'm eager to get on that.
I hope you will help me with that, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the cards.
Should we give people some other titles so that they know the scope of what we're talking about?
Sure.
The 9/11 Terror Trade, Up-Down Politics, They Don't Want Your Genes in the Pool, The P-Tech Story, Selling Your Soul for a Matrix Stake, How to Really Defeat Globalism, Biotech Billionaires and GMO Doomsday, How to Enjoy Your Servitude, The Three Types, The Strange Life of Morris Strong, The Real Meaning of Independence, The 9/11 Whistleblowers, Why We Must Oppose Bilderberg, A Brief Introduction to Spontaneous Order, Who Controls the Environmental Movement, Escaping the Grand Chessboard, and now for something completely different, A Letter to the Future, and Why I Write is the complete list. That's every single essay in there. All right, friends, if you are interested in that conversation, it is, of course, available on the subscriber announcement that was made earlier this month. You have to be a member of the Corbett Report to log into the website to watch that. If you need any help with that, please just let me know. Or if you're not a member yet, please become one. Support the work and see subscriber-exclusive videos and announcements like that. But as I say, the hardcover edition, the first run has all been claimed already. I do have some copies here in Japan, which I will be signing and providing in person here at the Real World, Real Life Physical Book launch for this book here in Japan later this spring. So stay tuned for that. There will be announcements on that, obviously, along the way. If you happen to be in Japan, drop by and get a signed copy for yourself of the hardcover limited collector's edition. And there may be special opportunities to get more of these in the future, again, for Corbett Report members. But that information will be coming later, along with much more information. I'm sure there is a lot more that I could say about the production of this book, what it's about, how it was produced, all of those things. But I will say that over time, and hopefully in the flurry of press that I will be doing surrounding this book, maybe. We'll see. And on that note, if you want to support this work, here are some very specific things that you can do. The number one, I hope I don't have to say this, but let me say it anyway, please buy a copy of the book. REPORTAGEbook.com, in case you don't know. Yes, I am gauging whether there is general public interest in books anymore, whether people do read, whether they will support a book, whether it is worth an investment of years of my time into a project like this. I am very happy with this book. I think it is an excellent book. I'm happy with the way it turned out, and I'm glad that it exists in the physical world, a real physical piece of media that you can hold and that cannot be digitally censored or blacklisted or algorithmically de-ranked. But having said that, if people are interested in it and support it, I will do more books in the future. And if not, then perhaps not. So please, number one, please purchase the book. Number two, purchase a book for your friends. Purchase a loaner copy. Purchase a copy that you can randomly foist on people and say, hey, read this. Let me know what you think about this essay or that essay. I think that, honestly, I hope that this is a key, another tool in the toolbox for letting people know about this information. And I think people tend to take books more seriously than they would a website, no matter who that website is run by. Having said that, number three thing you can do, as I intimated before, of course, buy the book wherever you buy the book. I'm not going to judge. But if you do want to support, say, local bookstores, independent bookstores, if you happen to know a physical bricks and mortar bookstore that still exists, why not support them, order it through them? And as I say, there is a sales sheet that is downloadable. It will be linked in the show notes so that you can download that, print it out, have it ready to give to the bookstore worker or a librarian. Yes, please, if you can, pester your local librarian to get a copy for your library. It is an actual real deal book, not only with an ISBN number, but a Library of Congress control number, which I am told is a very important thing for books to be taken seriously and to be offered in libraries in the United States, etc. So it's all there, and hopefully will be, hopefully you can help to get it on shelves so that it might get in front of people's physical faces a little bit more. Another thing that you can do, if and when you purchase the book, please rate and review the book wherever you purchase it. That goes a long way towards helping the book get seen and read by other people. So I do appreciate all help in that regard. And also, as I say, I hope I'm going to be doing a press blitz, and I'm happy to appear on other people's podcasts and talk about this book and what's in the book. So please get on the case of your favorite podcaster, preferably people with 1 million+ subscribers, one of the, whatever, shoot for the stars, the big names, whatever. Get in front of them to ask them to read the book and have me on to talk about the book. This is, I hope, an emissary to the greater world and to get the Corbett Report material out to millions upon millions of people. Why not? Let's at least aim for that and see what happens. Having said all of that, again, there's a lot more I could say, but it's literally starting to snow here. So I think I'm going to go warm up inside a little bit. And thank you again for all of your support over the years that has made this possible. It is now available right now at reportagebook.com. Thank you. James Corbett here. I'll talk to you again real soon.